I think when a family member comes into the space and they've been told that the end is near, they don't necessarily know what to do. They've had a way of relating to their loved one, but now it's like they've entered this new stage.
One of the early indicators of this transition that we can see is actually a change in a person's elimination pattern. A person as our appetite changes, we tend to eat and drink less, and we also will produce less urine. So when we've noticed that a person isn't voiding any longer, that can be a sign that a transition is occurring.
As people approach those last days or last hours of life, their metabolism has slowed down. So that need for food and fluid has really decreased. So they don't need to be encouraged to eat or drink at that time. And that's a normal part of the dying process.
We may also have moments where they may be in a coma-like state, sleeping much more, difficult to rouse, but are still with us. And those respirations becoming quite shallow, significant pauses in between those respirations, and again, can be quite frightening for family members.
Another common symptom that we see is that a person can have a change in their skin condition. So you may see evidence of something that we call mottling, and that is a change in the skin appearance. It becomes kind of cool to touch. It can be discolored, almost purplish in appearance.
We will see a purplish color, can be in the lower legs, the knees, the feet, and the skin feeling very cool.
Often we see that beginning in the dependent areas. So it may be on the feet, it may be on the hands, sometimes even on a person's bottom. When we see changes in skin condition like that, it can be an indication of imminent dying for that person. During the active phase of dying, we can see changes when a person, the quality of their breathing changes. You can see a person breathing very rapidly and then having long pauses. This is called Cheyne-Stokes respirations, and that continues to progress through the course of this transition.
As a person approaches those last days or last hours of life, breathing can certainly become irregular. Family members might notice a gurgle or a rattle, and that's because typically people, when they're dying, they can't clear congestion as well.
For family members and care providers, this can be a very distressing noise. Some people refer to this as a death rattle. That term in itself has a pretty negative and scary connotation, but that noise in itself is something that's normal and anticipated at this stage of life.
If there is a rattling in the throat, we can ask healthcare staff a few different things. One of them can be repositioning a resident on their side to alleviate some of that sound or symptoms. There's also medications that can be given to help with that as well.
It's important to reassure family members that this can be a normal transition and offer support that those types of signs aren't necessarily a cause for distress.
My top piece of advice for family members during end-of-life care and palliation is to spend that time together, those last moments that they will never have again, and to ask lots of questions, because healthcare providers are there to assist and bring people through to their end of days.